Okay, here's chill music.
Okay. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Uh, Today we're building some macropads. So, for a long time, I've seen the 2% milk macropad and thought it was hilarious. It's a little 2-button keyboard that looks like a milk carton. I think it's just adorable, and I've wanted one for a long time. Apparently the case files are open, and you can get the PCBs for them for, you know, a dime a dozen. But I finally found somewhere that had a kit that I could buy with the thing, with the 3D printed case, you might say. Also today, building a keymote control. This thing is very interesting. It's an infrared keyboard, or sorry, infrared remote control, like the old-fashioned style for your TV. But it uses mechanical keyboard switches. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. It's huge, it's goofy, it's gonna be fun, and it looks like it's mostly pre-soldered, so I might not have to do that much work. But it is, you know, something I bought, and I thought it'd be fun, and it looks like it could be fun, so play with that in a little bit. And then this is the UC1 from something designs, I don't remember. But I think the idea with this is you set it under your monitor. So like your monitor comes here and you like double stick tape it to the monitor. And it's got a rotary encoder here. And I'm gonna use that as like a volume control. And maybe even so you push on it and it mutes. But some of those rotary encoders are really hard to push on, so I might not. Just because it, you know, would like move it too much or something like that. Oh, it looks like I could use a little trim on this. And then it's got 3 buttons here, and so what I probably will do is have like a global mute button, which will mute the microphone, that sort of thing, so that I can, like, it's basically a cough button. Have a lock button, so I can just lock the computer with one key press here. I have that on my board, but it'd be fun to have that like on the monitor as well, especially because if I disconnect the keyboard from the monitor, or sometimes it wakes up and then my Apple Watch unlocks it and I'm like, no, click, and I just want to shut it off, so I can do that. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the 3rd button, but we'll figure something out. But it looks cool, and it's just a, you know, little 3-button macro pad with a a rotary encoder, and I accidentally ordered 2 of them because I was like, oh, that looks really cool, I'm gonna get one. And then a couple weeks later I was like, oh, that looks really cool, I'm gonna get one. And then I was like, wait a minute, didn't I already buy one of these? So I have 2 of them. Which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. It just, now I have 2, and I'm guessing like one for down here on my bench and one for upstairs at my desk. I don't know, we'll see. But just to get warmed up and whatnot, I'm going to start with the 2% milk. And as always, I did not prep firmware for this, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I don't even have all the parts for this. Oh, it doesn't need diodes because it's only 2 switches. I was like, wait, where are the diodes for this? Where are the things? So I have a couple of Holy Panda switches here, and I have a couple of, this is caps from the Dev TTY MT3 set from Drop. It's from the Novelties, or I don't remember what they called it, but it's effectively their Novelties kit. Just wanted to have something to put in there, and they're nice and tall. They sit up real high out of the thing. I mean, they're going to be taller than that because they're sitting on top of switches, but yeah. Yeah, I thought about putting a nice nano in this, but man, it's just expensive to use. Anyways, and there's an RGB, and I don't know where that goes. So I am actually, for once, going to use a build guide because I don't actually know how to build this thing. Which orientation does the controller go in? Which, you know, so this will be fun. And I really need to figure out how I want to do screen sharing for y'all. at some point. Because right now I just have everything on one monitor, so you would see my OBS, you would see my my studio, you'd see Discord, that sort of thing. And I have another monitor down here, and I just haven't bothered to set it up so that I can use that as like that's where the studio and, you know, OBS stuff is, and this is the one that I stream, or maybe the other way around. But, you know, that's fine. So I'll be doing some stuff on the computer and you won't see it. Sorry about that. 2% milk build guide. Oh, look, it's from Keycaps. And it is full of wonderful pictures and stuff. This is great. Okay, this is really great. That's really weird orientation for the RGB, but okay. Really weird. Let me see. So on the pictures here, it has the RGB like desoldered from this, but I'm not going to do that because I'll just use this. But it has it like vertically standing up and a little bodge wire and stuff. I think I'm just going to like lay it down here. Yeah, because that's data in. Yeah, that's unfortunate the way they cut that. It's mostly cut the 5 volt off. Okay, well I may just get a different RGB. I've got tons of these. This is just a WS2812 or whatever. I've got a bunch of those. The same RGBs that get used for the underglow on the Kyria and the V3 Corn. So I've got a bunch of those. Okay. Yeah, otherwise it looks... I mean, it's obviously not a difficult build, but... oh yeah, and I wanted to put Milmax sockets in here. So that way I could hot swap the switches. So I need to get some sockets. Okay, so we've got our sockets. Okay, and there's a PCB mount, so I need a PCB mount switch. That's plate mount. Okay, I don't have one. I know I have. Aha, okay. I knew I had one laying around, like a burner. I like to have a couple of burner switches that I usually clip the stem off of so that I know they're like used for bad things. But I like to have a couple of burner switches for just like, oh, I need to fit this into here and put some Milmax sockets on there, and I don't care if I get solder on it because this is already effectively a dead switch to me. And yeah, this one has a bent leg, so I'm gonna have to straighten that out real quick. Maybe I might just get a different switch. You know what, I'm just gonna get a different switch. It's a Cherry MX Red, who cares about them? And here's another one. That one's bent, but it's not mangled. The other one was like all sorts of all sorts of messed up. Okay, so soldering iron is on. We'll turn on the fan. Can't remember if these are magnetic or not. They are. I want 4 of them. Okay, well, I'm just going to pick them out manually. One, two, three. There's another one right there. I feel it. Okay, 4. Hello, Lorenzo. Welcome. Okay, so this is the bottom. So switch goes like that. Okay. Okay, so I put the Mil-Max sockets in. Then I, oops, wrong hole. And then I take and I put the switch into the socket, onto the board. Okay. And it's a little loose, but you know, that's what you get with Mil-Max sockets. Put a little tape on here just to try to hold it in place a little better. All right. We'll do a quick little solder job right here. It is going well. I just got started. I've got coffee in me. I've got breakfast in me. My water spill from yesterday has dried up on the floor. How about you? How's it going? Oh, and I just realized I need to change the text on the stream. Okay, this really wobbly. Who needs a third hand tool when you've got tape? Studying. What and where are you studying, if you don't mind me asking? Whoops. Oh yeah, I wanted to change the text. And then I'm going to put a little extra text today because it is a special day. Not quite that big. But I do want it to be fairly large text. And we'll change the color here, because that pink is... that's fine. Okay, boom. Physics, nice. I really enjoyed my calculus-based physics class that I took in college. Because I had done, what was it, just vector-based? I don't remember. Two-dimensional physics in high school. And then was also taking calculus in college, but also pre-calc in high school and stuff like that. And then I got to college, and it was based, the physics class there, the math was based on calculus. And I really enjoyed calculus. I thought it was fucking amazing. And then, like, to throw it into physics, I was just like, what? This is awesome. Everything makes so much sense. There's one thing that I really miss, that I really feel like I missed out on by not finishing a degree. It's learning more about calculus and physics, because that stuff is just mind-blowing. And how derivative it all is from the things prior. Like, it's just a pretty clear, almost linear path or progression of, you know, here's how this stuff builds together. Okay. So that is that. The sockets. So now the pandas should pop in there pretty nicely. And they do. Okay. Alright. Now what's next? Solder the Milmax. Solder the RGB. That's so bizarre. Okay. So it looks like the idea is this goes up inside here. And then there's an RGB that pokes out the bottom. Like it shines out the bottom. Because then the controller goes on top of this, so underglow wouldn't really do anything. But like I said, the problem with this is the input side. And the way they cut it, you can see that there's just barely a little pad right on here for the 5 volt. I mean, I guess I can solder it to the other end, but then that's weird. Okay. I've never used these strips like this before either. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to leave that off. It doesn't need to be lit up. But it kind of does. Like, how ridiculous. Okay, fine. Oh, and it's backward, so I can't even just solder it straight on there. Yeah, I don't know how this is supposed to work. How the... Let me see. This was from Keyhive. Maybe Keyhive has their own guide. Well, there's build guides. Nope. Alright, fine. Leaving the RGB off. That's fine. I can always build another one. These things are like a dime a dozen, apparently. Almost finishing the degree. That's awesome. How do you have, like, what, 2 semesters left or something? What do you have? How much time do you have left? Okay, solder the header pins. Okay, and then which... Okay, so this faces up. Okay. Just because it's not very snug in here, I'm gonna tape this on. Okay. Nice. Well, good luck. I am a little bit superstitious on congratulations, so I won't say it until you're holding the piece of paper in your hand that cost you so much money. Although, given you're in Europe, you're probably not spending that much money on your education because it's not like the US where getting a degree costs you $500,000. One of my best friends has a PhD in physics, and I don't know. We've never really talked much about his degree because he doesn't use it for work. Like he's got a PhD in physics, but he's a graphic designer. But occasionally he'll drop a knowledge bomb, and my mind will blow up, and that'll be that. Okay, so the corners are soldered into place. It says I don't need to solder all of them. I'm just gonna solder all of them because why not? Only takes a second. Yeah. And I just kind of shifted my career from building servers for companies to building keyboards for myself. I wouldn't say this is a career just yet, but it's what I'm doing at the moment. I am interviewing with another company, but and I probably will work there if they hire me, if they give me an offer. But I'm also just kind of enjoying a little bit of freedom right now. So I might just not. But we'll see. It's definitely my next thing for me is going to be either I'm extremely picky and I'm like, okay, no, this company is great. I'm going to go there and it's going to be awesome. Or it's going to be like, I want a paycheck for a couple months. So I'm going to go somewhere and work and not care about leaving when I leave. Oh wait, I'm skipping steps. Install the switches. Oh, okay. Okay. Safety glasses, as usual. Oh, come on. Some of these header pins, I feel like, are more magnetic than others. And I'm not sure how to tell the difference, because I would prefer to just... Yeah. Oh, well, tips for cleaning the Pro Micro. One, flux. Flux. Just lots of flux. You can't really use too much flux, because you can always clean off the excess. Then, I would say, where's my solder wick? So use some solder wick to try to suck as much of the excess away. And if you're just trying to get rid of bridges, that should be all you need. If you're trying to remove the entirety of it, I would say don't bother. Just take your flush cutters and just start snipping between there, and then pull the pins individually, and either take the Pro Micro and throw it in the trash, get another one, or you can desolder the pins individually. Because trying to get it all off in one piece is just futile. Don't, I wouldn't bother. But then again, apparently Pro Micros are getting harder to come by nowadays because of the chip shortage, so maybe don't be so wasteful with them. I have a whole box full of them, so I just throw them away if I don't whatever. And speaking of which, I forgot the cardinal rule. Flash the Pro Micro before you solder it. Okay, well, it turned on at least. All right, building the firmware now. Also, what you can do is post a picture of your soldering job in their help channels on various Discords. So I know 40s has one. I don't know if I don't think I should know this because I'm a mod there. I don't know if Low Pro Keyboards has one, but you know, people will definitely help you. Yeah, you can post your, hey, you know, what's wrong with my soldering job or whatever, and you'll get 1,000 people telling you various things. Whether you like it or not. All right, so that is ready for flashing. Let's reset. That didn't work. Reset. Okay. Just for grins, clear the EEPROM. Okay. Flash the firmware. Okay, it's flashed. I have a keyboard. Now let's see if we can type something with it. I don't know what the default firmware does on this, but we're about to find out. Nothing. Okay, what is... Let's see. MK configurator, so it's supposed to be Z and X. But it's not, oh wait, I'm not in there anymore. Huh. Well, whatever, we'll figure it out later. For now, actually, I'm suspicious. I want to try something. So on the board itself, there's a reset and a ground pad. What happens if we bridge that? That should make it go into firmware update mode. I have a feeling this controller is on upside down. Despite the build guide. Let me see. Oh. No. It's not upside down. It's rotated 180 degrees. Okay. Well. So that's a bust. I'm just going to buy another kit. Because I really, honestly, it's not worth desoldering this whole thing. This might go into my bucket stuff that maybe someday I'll fix if I need some stream content or something. Whoa. Okay, well, that was quick. On to the next one. Oh dear. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. You just start soldering stuff. Fortunately, it was not a huge loss. There will probably be a day where I go about desoldering make a video about how to desolder a Pro Micro or something like that, but not going to be today. Okay, so next up, why don't we do the keynote? Yeah, I mean that the sum of the parts that I just threw away is about $4. It's just not worth screwing around with. Not right now. And I didn't throw it away. It's in my box of broken stuff to fix. Stuff that it's like, I'll probably never fix this. But if I ever get really bored and want to fix it, here's some projects. They're good practice, if nothing else. Okay. Ooh. So we've got a couple of infrared LEDs. Got this, oh, this is probably for so you can program it, because I think the idea is you like set it in a programming mode. You hold the button you want to program, and then you plug, or, you know, shine the key, the remote you want to program this into on the bottom. So that's the infrared transistor. We've got headers for various things, which we'll find out. Got this big ass switch. I wonder if that's for like selecting which remote you're. Is this like a 5-pole switch? Or 5-throw switch? Yeah, this should be fun. Alright, I'm gonna move this stuff to here. I'm actually gonna shut the fan off because I don't think we're gonna need to solder very much with this. At least until switches come around. I'm gonna turn the music down just a touch. Alright. Okay. And this, I have never built one of these, and it is not your average keyboard. So I'm gonna keynote control build guide. Yes, it is an infrared remote control with mechanical switches. Yeah, thought it was pretty awesome. I'm going to I'll paste a link. Ugh, God. Google your cancer links. All right. That is what I'm building. Link to album. Link to group by. Okay. Absolutely desperate, you can flash different firmware and use it as a keyboard. So this looks like it'll take chalk switches. I kind of want to put chalk switches in it. And maybe, oh yes, yes, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put chalk switches in this. Probably my G chalks, because I'm never going to use them on an actual board. And then put my shiny, my shinies on. The gum wrapper switches. Or caps. Okay, how do you build this damn thing? Assembly instructions are here. It's a YouTube video. Okay. Oh, 20-minute long YouTube video. Man. Let's see. Okay, I can Wadsworth constant this a little bit. Okay. Explaining what all the parts are for. Screws, things, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Wow, that is coming out of the Mac Mini. Display audio. There we go. That's better.
Demodulator, the infrared LEDs, positionally, the switch goes right here on the edge. So with all the components coming up out of the board, it's the same orientation you want to put the switch in, up out of the board.
Okay.
So it just goes to that slot right there. Jumpers.
Is there a speed control?
Pulse positions right here.
Yes. Okay. This is where I wish I could. You know what? I'm gonna do this. We're gonna see. I want y'all to see what I'm looking at, just so that. Display capture, window capture, window capture, window. Safari keynote control assembly instructions. Oh, that is way too big, but okay. Put this over here. And then we're gonna theater mode that so it fills things up. And boom. Okay.
Something goes wrong.
Okay. So what's interesting here is it's got a bunch of jumpers on it. It's really hard to see though, because the focus is just bad. I say as my focus is wonderful, but I really wish there were just pictures. Okay, so where...
Start soldering on these thermal components. Later, being put on these switch jumpers.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumpers. Okay, we've got the switch. Okay, I'm just going to solder the switch on because I know that's where that goes. And then it's out of the way and not going to fall off the board. All right, fine. Okay. Turn that back off so I can hear the YouTube video.
With all the components coming up out of the board, the same rotation of the switch.
Okay.
These jumpers go into these positions right here.
Okay. All right. And since I got a bunch of actual jumper things, I'm going to use those to hold these a little more rigidly in place. While I solder. Okay. And I'm going to tape that on. So that it doesn't pop off. I flip it over. Okay.
stores all your remote codes, or it's talking to the ISP. So for the purposes of normal remote control operation, since when this arrives to you, it'll already be programmed. You'll take your shuts. Down this block of 3, so that it's connecting the middle pins to the pins that flash. Just this.
I see.
That's the correct orientation of the sheets. So solder those in. Demodulator goes here at the bottom. You see it's got kind of a little dome on one face. That dome should face outward. Just like that. Infrared LEDs.
Okay. So we'll do transistor real quick, or as he calls it, the demodulator. Okay. So we got header pins, this, and then the LEDs.
Go in these holes up top. And the 3 infrared LEDs mean that you can populate all 3 of these ports if you want. That means it'll use a little bit more battery when you're pressing a button for sending a signal, but the signal will go farther. So if you want to longer rate the remote, you can put all 3 in. Realistically, you'll probably be fine just using one of them. Just use one, you can populate whichever of these you want, but because I have a crippling sense of symmetry, I would probably use the second. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'll probably just put 1, but 1 or 2, I'll do whatever. So let's go ahead and solder those things up. These are polar. So if you look at it from the top, see one side is flat. It's got a pivot on the side. That side has a shorter lead. So if we flip over, see that one side of the footprint here is marked with a flatted side. So those flatted sides line up. In other words, the shorter lead goes into the square hole. And you can
The
solder
square
it
hole.
on like this, so we can put it into this side. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bend it forward. So that's pointing directly forward. It's LED pointing straight up and around doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't want to point forward when you're pressing the buttons.
Fair.
Or you can put it in on this side as long as the short lead goes into the square hole. You're good. So we can put it this side as well. Again, bend it forward. It really doesn't matter which way you do it. It's instant enough. It works just fine either way. But that orientation, short lead, square hole, flat side to flat side, that is very important across the LED light up. One more note on that. You won't actually see the LED light up because it's infrared. It's out of the human range of vision. So you won't see it light up. If you want to be sure it's working, you can look at it through a phone, and you should see it light up at that point. It's sending a signal. And the phone's filter doesn't filter out infrared wavelengths, so it'll kind of purple you when you're looking directly at it. It's a thing there. Shorter lead. However you want. Just bend it so it's facing solder all those components in, so I'll give you a quick look at the board so you can see everything. Demodulator here.
Okay. So I want this to be mostly, I mean, I can bend them in place a little bit, I guess. Beautiful. Seems legit. Close enough for Congress. So the fun thing is my TV has an RF remote control. And I don't know if I can even use it with an infrared remote. But I'm going to find out. Because I really want to use this thing at least once. And that's, well, I guess my stereo has an infrared remote. So I could use it for that. But otherwise, I only have 2 remote controls in my whole house. I have one for the TV and one for the stereo. Trying to think if I have any others. I don't think so. So, yeah. Okay. That looks pretty decent. I'm going to put just a touch more solder on just to make extra sure. But I think we're good. Like, it's definitely electrically connected. Just thinking more physical. Okay. Safety glasses. Are these magnetic? I don't believe they are. Oh, they are. Okay, well. Fun. Okay, so there's, oops. And the... Okay, so that's that part done. Now what does he say to do?
Let's go ahead and get this on. I find it's easier to trim these leads down to about 2-3 inches. Just don't need that much connection on it. So exposed here since it's used solder. Go ahead and into this hole here. Plus the black goes into this hole here. Goes in. So,
Okay, well, where is it gonna live?
soldered in. We're gonna go ahead and tap.
So go here.
At this point, you have to decide whether you want to play with low bat showing or nothing showing. I kind of like this, so showing. You switch. You're going to get solder on this. Here. See, the switch has to be.
Okay. It's probably too small of wire for my wire cutters or my wire strippers, so I'll do it the hard way. So here's a pro tip for these kind of things where you're soldering stranded wire into something. Because if you leave your iron on the wire too long, what will happen is the actual insulation here will melt and make a mess, and it'll pull back, and you're a pain in the ass. So in order to make it so you go really quickly, the answer is, of course, flux. So you just flux this up real good. And then what happens, stick the wires through. And I'm going to use a little bit of tape again, because I love using tape to secure things. Stick the wires through. It's less necessary on heavier gauge wire, but this is fairly small gauge. It's probably like 26 or 28 maybe. But then I'm not going to touch this to the wire yet. I'm going to touch it to the pad, put a little solder on there, and then push it up against the wire real quick. And that'll flow it right into there. If I really wanted to do this quickly, what I would do is tin the pad. Like if I was like basically surface mounting the, or surface soldering the wire, put a little, or tin the wire with a little bit of solder, tin the pad, then flux both of them, and then stick the wire on and just push it down with the soldering iron, and it'll go, and it'll just melt right in there real fast. Yeah, and then hopefully it didn't melt the jacket too much. It doesn't look like it did. And I'm assuming this just goes right here during final assembly. So that should be fine. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now I need the case. Okay. What do I do with the case? Case. So we need the plate. And he says it's optional to put the low bat up, but I'm going to put it up so that you see what it actually means. Plus the bottom side of this doesn't look wonderful. I guess the top doesn't look much better. It's fine. But yeah, put some switches in here. Bust out the G-Chocks. I tried to use these and just didn't like them at all. I tried to give them the old, okay, I don't like them, but I'm gonna keep trying just in case. And I just gave up. I couldn't. And these don't snap into this plate at all. That's annoying. Do they fit? They do fit. Okay. So we're just gonna do it the hard way here. Oh, sometimes. This is why I really like hot socket or hot swap switches. Because the sockets don't fall out while you're soldering them. And the switches don't fall out when you put them in. It's really nice. Dropping stuff all over the place. Okay, so here's a little bit of a problem. So the bottom of this switch here, let me see if you can see that. The bottom of the switch here, the legs stick up a lot. And it's pushing up on here, so you can see a little bow in the thing. And I don't know if that's too much, but I'm gonna guess it is. And I can trim that off really easily, so I'm gonna do that. Because it'll only take a second. Okay. Now should fit closer. Although I'm a little concerned because these ones in the middle here are pushed up quite a bit too. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go take this all off of here, and I'm gonna just trim all of these leads that are sticking through as flush as I can. Okay. Put the plate on. Switches in. Oh yeah. Much better. Okay. Much better. Yep, this will work just fine. so I'm also going to put a little tape here. A little tape here just to hold things together while because under here is where the switch legs are sticking through, so I need to pull back some of that tape to get at the legs. And since I'm going to be soldering for a little bit here, I'm going to turn the fan back on. And I actually don't need this to be quite so hot. It shouldn't matter. Thanks for stopping by, Lorenzo. Have a good one. Okay. Do the other end real quick. Wait, I can just do this. Oops. Oops. You know, it's funny is I thought about using the spring headers in that 2% milk just for fun. Also, today I just found out that I wasn't actually using the wired connection from my Mac Mini to the switch that's sitting on my desk. So I've been on Wi-Fi the whole time because I was having problems, and I'm like, well, let me just turn off Wi-Fi to see what happens. And then I didn't have anything. And then I fiddled with the cable, and suddenly I had Wi-Fi, or suddenly I had internet again. So, yeah, my bad. It's frustrating. OBS was like saying no dropped frames, but over in the other corner it said it was disconnected and retrying. So, yeah. Anyways, we're back.
With X style switches, so cherry, etc. Clones. And they're also compatible with Alps style switches, and the footprints are compatible with low profile chalk switches, but the plate holes might be too big to properly hold those. So you're welcome to try and experiment as you will. Make sense of using this plate and put this into the right position. The easiest way I found to do this is actually using this plate.
Oh, okay.
So whether you plan on using this plate where the batteries can show through, or this flat plate with a can, I advise you do it this way. So each one of these headers, you put it through the hole. Go ahead. Screws each of these headers right now. So we'll do that for each of these holes. Each one of these headers, you put it through the plate.
Okay, which one did he grab? Okay, so he grabbed this.
Start. So take each one of these headers, you put it through the hole. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, two people are back. So one thing I need to figure out is how to get OBS to like yell at me if it drops the connection or something. Because that would have been really nice to know. I don't know how long it's been down. Judging by the viewer count graph, about 10 minutes. Okay. So think what he's saying is to do this. Put this in here so that I get it in the right position. And quite possibly screw on these ends. Let's see. Whoops.
So do that for each of these holes. This into the right position. So feed this through, and this in the right position. And this will help us position this exactly where it's supposed to go. Make sure that the battery's in at this point. The battery actually does expand out just a tiny bit in this direction. And when you do that, it doesn't really fit through this. So let's go ahead and do all of these heavy batteries. Okay, someplace. Take this plate into the battery. Line it up. So I'm just going to screw in like 2 of these, one in each corner. That's just so that we've got it lined properly. That aligning means that the battery will be placed in the exact right spot. And what I'm going to use to mount this is properly use some double-sided seam. Two is not, it's not moving. So
Ooh. Hello, do not disturb. Oh my god. Okay. So, and he's using hot snot for this. I don't... Okay. I'm going to use some double sticky tape because that's what I have. I mean, I have hot snot too, but I don't feel like busting out the hot snot right now. Okay. Because I got to wait for it to warm up, and I got to wait for it to cool down, and it's messy, and it just... When I can just cut some double stick tape off and slap it on there, I will just do that. Here's the fun part. Lifting the protective coating off of the back. Oh, that one worked okay. This is usually like an impossible task. That one worked great too. Okay, cool. Put this down in here. Come on. Shit. Whoops. I just bent the LEDs. And I can't do it this way because the wires stick out the other side. I can't drop it straight in because wires. Okay, so I'm going to actually do it the way I was starting it the first time. Not bringing it through the board completely. Or through the case, or the plate, whatever. This thing completely. But having it come through from the bottom. Because it is a very tight fit in there. It doesn't need to snap in place or anything like that. It just needs to sit there for a second. So then I put these in the corners for alignment. And then squish it down. And just for ease of battery replacement and stuff, I'm going to leave this case as the one I use. This is really awkward, this switch sticking way out the side here, but I imagine that's the shortest stem he could get on this switch. And you can always just trim it off. Because it's kind of an oddball switch, because it's, you know, 4 positions. Okay, so...
Add these extensions onto each one. Each stitch. And as you do that, it makes it tall enough that this plate can then go on and cover up this battery holder as well. So that's all.
Oh,
That's what we
I see.
Good. And once you put on the caps, so remote's ready to use. So I'll go ahead and record a different video where I show how to program the remote, strategic encodes, and what various links on this snaps of the mean. So congratulations, you're ready to go.
All right. Okay. Not the most practical of remote controls. Especially if you had... Imagine if you had like SA really tall MX switches in here. Or caps, rather. Okay, so this is Phillips. Whoops. That's not a... That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, come on. Where's my... This'll work. Oops, that's a homie. Actually, we'll put the homie here. Because I'm kind of envisioning this being like a number pad. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to use this thing at all. This is a display piece. I do want to make it somewhat functional. But just, you know, for the aesthetic purposes, that would be the number pad kind of thing. And your directional arrows or something. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, this is a meme keyboard. All right. There we go. Have a emote control. That's awesome. Oh, joy. Put some of my mess away. Keynote control with G-Chocks and prototype MBK plasti-dipped keycaps. Oops. And I forgot that I bent by accident all of these down. So let me bend them back up. There we go. That's great. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Now on to the next one. So I think I accidentally even ordered the same ones. Yeah, they both have the purple caps and the purple case. I think I have a black cap here. So it doesn't really matter which one I build first. So I'm going to build the one that's like partially open. Let's set the case aside for the moment. Get all the parts out. Okay, that's case parts, controller, PCB. I don't know why it has 4 LEDs per switch, but it has 4 LEDs per switch. That's a lot of light. And okay, there's a rotary encoder. Break this down real quick. But this is another one that's already mostly assembled. So you've got a little daughter board thing here that looks like it secures here or with a cable maybe? No, it's got a little header here. Merge design, that's it. Oh no, it is a cable. I see. So I've got to solder this header onto this board. This cable connects the two. Solder switches, controller goes on there, boom. Okay. Okay, now let's go. This is a merge UC51, I think. UC1. Assembly guide. Let's go change the stream title. Building a merge design UC1. And I actually kind of want to hold off on building the other one because I kind of want to put a nice nano in there, but I don't have extra batteries right now. And I don't even know if I have an extra nano. But I do have a bunch of NRF micro PCBs, so Maybe I'll save the other one for when I get my NRF micro parts to finish the build on those. And then I'll build one of these as a wireless version. Because then it's not taking up valuable USB ports on the back of my monitor. Okay. I hate these little Ziploc bags. I get it. I get their convenience and whatnot, but okay. I've been looking for that. Okay. So we're just going to follow the guide here, just because why not? Okay. Comes with all the stuff. So that's the front. Okay, well, it's saying to solder the headers of the Pro Micro first, but I am not going to do that, I don't think. Okay, so the Pro Micro goes on there like this. And then this goes on oh. Goes on like that. Oh wow, those are tiny. Very, very small little teeny itty bitty legs on this thing. I'm probably just going to smear some paste on there and just run the iron across. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do this in a little bit different order because... So what I'm going to do, because this is going to be the hardest thing to keep in position, I'm going to solder this first. Then I'm going to put the headers on here and the Pro Micro on, flip it over, solder the bottom, flip it back over, solder this side. And that'll be the Pro Micro installed. Oh, nice. So this will be really nice for Nice Nano because then you can seat the battery right under there. Like this. It just kind of slips right under there. It makes it sit up just a little bit taller, but it slips right in there. And this battery is not useful. It doesn't have a controller anymore. I need to make it a sparky pillow or a spicy pillow at some point, but not today. So yeah, I'm going to put this here. Get it lined up correctly. A little bit of tape to hold it in place. Okay, flip it over. Smear a little bit of paste on here. I'm not gonna try to be too tidy about it because I'll clean it up real quick afterward. Just try to get good coverage. Oops. Okay. All right, and then okay, looks good. And just get a little close up of it and make sure it's not bridged anywhere or anything. And I don't think this is bridged. I think this is shmoo. But I'm going to reflow those two just to be sure. Okay. And that actually cleaned up pretty nicely without having to scrub it. So I'm going to leave it as is. And this is one reason I really like solder paste, because that made soldering those 9 pins or whatever really quick. Just squirt a little solder paste on and just kind of doot down each one. Okay. Now we put this in here. Try not to screw it up this time. Okay. Give it a little more juice, a little more heat on the iron, because these headers absorb a lot of the heat coming out of the iron. Okay, and I should probably... Okay, and since this Pro Micro is face up, which means it's flat side down, I am going to pull the plastic bits off of the headers so that I can have it flush against the board, because I really like that. Whoops. And that's why you wear safety glasses. That one shot up and hit me right in the face. Didn't hit me in the glasses, but it hit my nose. It was, you know, inch or two away from my eye. Would not have been pleasant. See, and then it sits nice and flat down against the board. Much nicer. Okay, now socket time. Oh wait, let me just... Solder hot swap sockets on the back of the PCB. Okay. Okay. And then solder the encoder. And the encoder is somewhere right here. Okay. Almost put it on backward. Okay, so that is on there pretty good. Okay. I think that's all of the soldering. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Roll this back up. All right, so we've got that. Now we want the case and the encoder. And I don't, let me grab switches too. Caps. So I think I'm going to go with the pink caps. So play nicely off of the purple. Nice. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Okay, so have the front case. Two 12mm screws handy to install the switch PCB. I think that, yeah, okay. I'm actually going to turn the iron off because I think we're done with that for today. Okay, two 12mm screws. And yeah. Place switch PCB and plate into front case like this. Oh, I see. So these holes have threaded inserts. So this goes in here. I think I'm going to shave this little bit off because this is fiberglass. I'm going to put on safety goggles. Okay, because I think this is supposed to kind of fit into here a little bit. Or no, maybe not. No, it's not. Because these little ears that stick out don't have a recessed place. So let me just double check here. This goes there like that. PCB in like this. Screws. Prepare to install a controller PCB. That goes in. Okay. Have the 4mm screws and 6mm standoff handy. Okay. Okay. Next up. That goes on there. And screws here. So one thing I was just thinking about would be really cool, because this desk, it's just a big desk, right? So it'd be nice to have this kind of hanging off of the front of the desk so that I could push it from up here and control the computer. So that might happen. Just need to find some long USB cables. Okay. Place it on the front case and secure it with the rest of the screws. Plug it in to test if it's working. Hey, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay. Oh, wait. Duh. It skips from 9 to 11, and I think number 10. Yeah, I think the idea is that it mounts under your monitor, but I think it could integrate with my desk too. The only problem is this has like... How does this go on here? It has this ridge here, but my desk has it kind of goes up like this first, so it wouldn't fit perfectly on the front. So mostly I'd be like attaching it to this to the bottom of the desk, which is why it would be better as a under the monitor, which you can't see right now, but that's kind of far away to reach. So maybe I'd like attach it to the side of my just have my little stream controls right here on the on that. That'd be kind of fun, actually. I don't know. We'll see. But first, the hidden step number 10. Hello, MPI Cool. Or MP Cool, or however you say your name. So this needs to get plugged in. Am I doing this right? I think I am. Okay, yep. Yeah, so far I need to call my mom, which I'm going to do here as soon as we're done. But yeah, so far. Okay, actually, before I put it all together, now we can test if it works. Come on. There we go. Okay. Success. We have... Oh, it's even pre-programmed with volume control. Very cool. All right, so what does it want us to do next? Finish assembly. Wait, where's my mouse pointer? Finish assembly. Yep. That has to be really nice on the microphone. That grinding the 3D printed plastic layers against each other. Sorry. There's no way around it. Okay, why is that not snapping in place? Oh. Oh, shit. Okay, so I screwed up. So in my want for aesthetics, I wanted this flat, but there's a little hole back here. And that little hole is with that port in mind, so it doesn't line up correctly. I don't know if you can really see that super well. So I either need to raise this whole thing up, which I'm not going to do, desolder the Pro Micro, the second one I've screwed up now today. I haven't screwed this up. It works. It totally works. It just doesn't assemble correctly. Or what I'm going to do is clip out this little bit back here and just make the hole bigger. If I had a Dremel, I would use a Dremel, but I don't have a Dremel. And I'm not going to go buy one for this. So I'm just going to hack job it with some clippers. But pro tip, those headers are actually important on this one. The little plastic bits on the header. This feels almost criminal. Cutting up this beautiful case. But there's no way around it. Okay, when you said that on Discord earlier, I wasn't sure what you meant when you said you discovered it or found it or whatever. Because then you were like, oh, it's probably worth more than what, originally paid for it. And I was like, did you buy it? Like, I was confused. But that's cool. So what you're saying is you're going to sell it and you're going to buy a lot more tape, right? For more science purposes? Oh, I didn't print this case. Or I would just go, oops. And it's from the UK, so I'm not gonna like reach out and be like, oh hey, by the way, can you send me another case but with it offset? If I was gonna do anything like that, I'd probably just have them send me another controller board. But I'm not gonna do that either. Yeah, but think about it this way. You can have that money now, and then later when you're a millionaire, just buy that nostalgia again. Bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Okay, let's see if that's enough. Not quite. A little bit more. Well, get the, I would definitely say before you sell it, put it on and play some, get it out of your system. I mean, you say that. And my response to that is not with that attitude. There. Looks jank, but it works. When I do the other one, I'll make sure the headers, well, I mean, when I do the other one, since I want to put a nice nano in it, it'll stand up anyways, so it won't be a problem. But if I end up having to modify the case, I'll borrow a Dremel or something. Someone's got one. I know people with Dremels and stuff. I'm assuming you mean these? These are holy pandas, not alpacas. Okay. Secure, so I'm pretty sure this is, yep, done. Okay, cool. So have a functioning rotary knob. This is a little loose, kind of. It'd be nicer if that was tighter somehow. Okay. there we go. Now let's see what is actually, besides the volume control, what these actually do. Hopefully this isn't something horrible. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And this is a volume control. Pushing it is mute. Perfect. This works. And so it ships with a little bit of double stick tape here. An idea is you stick the double stick tape on and then right up against your monitor or whatever. So I will figure out somewhere to put that at some point. So yeah, here's our successes today. I mean, I don't know if this is successful because I haven't turned it on. But I will play with that later. And let's see. I kind of want to make one of these like a layer tap, so I can hold it and then turn the encoder or push the encoder, and that will actually change the lighting mode. But we'll see. This is going to be really fun to play with. This is I have a bunch of macropads. This is the first one that I'm actually going to use this thing. So looking forward to figuring out what I want to have that thing do, and then making it do it. And then this thing is just ridiculous. I love it. I love it already. Yeah. Things and stuff. So, I think... Oh, well, I've got even more, but I bought enough for a corn from Kart Sims a while back, and he gave me a bunch of extras and stuff like that too. So I've got a bunch of 2Us. I've got, I think, a couple of 1.5s still, but I ended up not using them on a corn because I don't think they're very good to type on, but they're okay for thumb keys. So if you look at my chalk corn, which I actually have down here, but it's in a box somewhere, and if you look at my oh, that switch is kind of off. And if you look at my daily driver, my Reviung LP, it has it has these on the thumbs because they're fine for thumbs. In fact, in a lot of ways, they're better for thumbs because they have a smoother edge here. But I don't like the feel. I don't like this smooth. I need that textured PBT surface. So I'm just using regular blanks, or colored blanks on those. On the regular switches. Yeah, this is it's kind of ridiculous how not low profile this thing is though. Like it's chalk switches and MBK caps, and then 4 inches of dead air in there, but it's hilarious. Like I'm gonna change the channel with this. Feels like an old man remote. Yeah, I don't know how many he has left, but yeah. Definitely reach out to him. I'm kind of sad about the 2% milk, but I will figure out something else with that at some point. I think I'm gonna take a break for a little bit and then come back and finish up the Kimiko from yesterday, because I've got to figure out what's going on with the RGBs on this hand, and then I got to put the RGBs in on the other hand, and then assemble everything, because that's mostly what's left. And then, yeah, but that will be later. not right now. Oops. Cool. Well, anyways, thanks y'all for coming and hanging out. I'm going to go do something else for a little bit. Possibly go hang out with my friend with cancer. I did that yesterday, and I was there from like 3:30 until midnight or something like that, just hanging out. It was fun. It was tough. Fun. But anyways, I'm going to take off. Thanks y'all for coming and hanging out, and sorry for the brief interruption in the middle there that I didn't know was happening. I will try to figure out how to prevent that in the future, or figure out how to know that it's happening so it doesn't take so long for me to recover from it, because I honestly just didn't know it was broken. So yeah, but anyways, see you later. Okay, great. There. And